It's Ideasphere with author Ira Chaleff. Intelligent Disobedience: Doing Right when what you're told to do is wrong. Something that surprised me about your findings is how you landed upon the title Intelligent Disobedience. It takes a highly skilled seeing eye dog trainer to teach a guide dog to disobey, and you transferred this to human development.
Yes, I was teaching a class on courageous followership, and as part of that, we talk about when is it appropriate to obey authority, and when might we resist authority because what we're being told to do is wrong. Not necessarily because it's unethical or evil, but simply wrong, and obeying would produce harm. And a woman in my class said, I have an example of that under the table. Under the table? Well, she had a dog under the table who was being trained as a guide dog for a person who is blind. And she explained to us that the first 16 to 18 months of the dog's life is spent learning how to obey all the commands it will need to know and how to socialize it so it can perform its role. Then, she said, it has to go to a higher level trainer who will teach it intelligent disobedience. And what is that? Well, it turns out that to be a guide dog, you need to be able to differentiate between what commands to obey and what commands to refuse to obey. For example, if the person who is blind doesn't hear a quiet hybrid car turning around the corner and orders the dog to go forward, the dog must not obey because it will do harm to the person and to the dog. And in fact, it has to learn how to resist obeying even if the command is repeated. And this, for me, is a wonderful metaphor for what we as human beings could be doing and seem to be failing to do. What I hope we're doing by having this conversation is helping people to re-examine their own impulses in relationship to authority and how might they start to create more distinctions between when is it appropriate to obey and when should they question, and question hard. And if they don't get good answers, to make the decision not to obey. Because, again, we never can say, well, I was just following orders, or I felt bad about it, but I felt I had to do it, or I was afraid I'd lose my job. Those just aren't moral justifications. We are still accountable for the choices we make and whether to obey or not to obey.
This discussion has centered on the book Intelligent Disobedience: Doing Right when what you're told to do is wrong. Ira Chaleff. Check out his website at irachaleff.com.